Greetings, adventurers. The renowned land of Sharlayan has been alluded to numerous times throughout our adventures in Eorzea. We've encountered Sharlayan friends, foes, and have even explored the secrets left behind when they fled Eorzea in its darkest hour. Finally, in December of 2021, the Warrior of Light will be granted permission to land on its shores in the Endwalker expansion of Final Fantasy XIV. We hope to petition our isolationist neighbors to open their research to us and aid us in preventing the end of days, a great calamity that threatens Hydaelyn itself. To the north of Eorzea lies the nation of Sharlayan. Sharlayan is an archipelago made up of 4 main islands. The island of Ham to the north, the larger island of Sharlayan at its center, the island of Yorn to the south, and the island of Val to the east. These islands are described to have beautiful, lush, evergreen forests and a wide variety of flora and fauna. It can be presumed that there is a cold but habitable climate due to its northern location and layered attire. This archipelago is accessible by sea, but otherwise not much else has been shared of Sharlayan geography, and we have not yet been able to visit. Knowledge seeks no man. This is the dictum of the nation of Sharlayan, and tells much of their creed, culture, and beliefs. Sharlayan is a culture that is founded upon the principle that all men are equal in the pursuit of knowledge. Their goal is to gather all of the knowledge of the world, to preserve it and protect it. To this end, Sharlayan has a great focus in the industries of ethereal technology, publishing, and education. Sharlayan comprehends the study of aether and ethereal technologies better than most. It is they who discovered the secrets of traveling through the lifestream via aetherite. They built and continue to maintain the Eorzean Aethernet and its aetherites, allowing for swift teleportation to the far corners of the continent. This does not come free, however. Adventurers may note the fees required to use aetherites. These proceeds go back to the homeland and allow their economy to flourish. Publishing is another profitable industry in Sharlayan. This collection of knowledge is easily leveraged financially. Sharlayan may be isolationist, but they are more than willing to share their publications to the world, so long as they are not too dangerous or used to further any wars directly. This aligns with their creed that all are worthy of knowledge as long as they are willing to seek it out. Sharlayan's government is classified as a true democracy. Its ruling body is called the Forum. Composed of 99 elected members, the Forum operates as a parliament of sorts, to help enact the will of the people. All edicts and societal changes are voted upon by the Forum. Not only just political movements, but institutions of learning and other groups can be vetted and endorsed by the Forum. Sharlayan is perhaps best known for their institutions of knowledge. Individuals flock to Sharlayan from around the globe in the hopes of being accepted to these prestigious establishments. Notable schools are the Stadium and the Students of Baldesion, though there are many, many more within the nation. Despite these inclusive cultural norms, Sharlayan practices extreme isolationist policies within their politic. This is due in part to their very strict anti-war stance. It has been said that war is the favored resort of the uncivilized and the ignorant. Sharlayans believe it is their task to observe, to chart the course of history, but not alter it significantly. They feel that civilization cannot be advanced through conflict, but the passing of knowledge from generation to generation. To this end, whenever a war begins, the Sharlayans will not intervene, no matter the cause. To Sharlayans, war can only cause more war and future bloodshed. In recent times of conflict, the Sharlayans have remained reticent and stay within the safety of the northern seas. To better understand these stances, we can look to the founding and history of Sharlayan. Approximately 1600 years ago, the 6th Umbral Era brought the calamity of water, a terrible flood that killed thousands and washed away whole cultures and civilizations. This calamity was caused by the severe elemental imbalance wrought by the tumultuous War of the Magi. A Rogadan named Yunkrep foresaw this calamity using astrological arts. Rather than sit idly by and let fate run its course, he instead constructed a wooden ark and set sail for Eorzea with a small volunteer crew. This crew saved many lives, rescuing those stranded on peaks and adrift in the flood. However, as the flood grew more violent, Yunkrep and his crew realized their ark would get torn asunder by the sides. Junkrept took a great risk and called about ancient and forbidden teleportation magics, not knowing where their ark would be teleported to. Fortunately, the ark was teleported to Albathia's Spine, a large mountain range spanning the northern end of the continent of Aldernard from east to west. There they found many other refugees who escaped to high ground before the floodwaters came. Regrettably, with resources so scarce, people began to resort to savagery and murder to fight for what was left. Junkrept decided they could not stay and escaped to the northern hinterlands and built a new ark to cross across the blood-brine sea and escape from the wars that ravaged Eorzea. They stumbled upon an archipelago and started a small settlement that would later blossom into the Sharlayan we know today. As time went on, the settlement flourished and grew. This new society pledged themselves to Junkrept's teaching of pacifism and vowed to walk in the light of wisdom and reason. As they expanded, they adopted a government of pure democracy in which each citizen had a say in the government's edicts. This gathering was called Ecclesia and was an open forum. As the society grew, however, this form of government became overwhelming. Thus, 200 years after settlement, the forum was founded. In the year 432, the stadium was founded. This prestigious institution of learning would vastly accelerate Sharlayan growth, and in 598, scholars discovered travel via aetheryte, allowing for construction of new aetherytes. They founded a 5-year exploration of the archipelago to successfully build aetherytes throughout the islands. These discoveries spurred Sharlayan to delve deeper into teleportation magics, and 68 years later, scholars discovered a hidden text from the 5th astral era, 3,000 years ago. However, upon testing these magics, the entire team of researchers vanished, never to be seen again. After this, Sharlayan banned research into forced teleportation. Traveling into the life stream without aid was far too dangerous. Of course, teleportation via aetheryte was still safe, and 300 years later, Sharlayan signed an agreement with Baldesion to construct an aetheryte network across Thanalan, the first ever aetheryte network in Eorzea. By 1311, Sharlayan was a bustling and successful city-state, continuing to make great strides in scholarly research and becoming a contender on the world stage. They made a great discovery in the study of aether, in which they found the ethereal sea, presumed to be the very heart of Hydaelyn herself. They built a small research outpost in the Dravanian hinterlands to better study this, soon discovering a deep network of caverns, the ideal vantage point for observation. In these caverns, they began to construct the Antitower, a space to research and observe the ethereal sea. As the Antitower project grew, it drew renown, and learned Eorzeans flocked towards the hinterlands to help uncover the secrets of the ethereal sea, and join this blossoming settlement. After 50 years of steady growth, the Forum officially proclaimed the Dravanian hinterlands as a colony, and Sharlayan joined the city-states of Eorzea. Unfortunately, this prosperity would not last. 200 years later, the war with Garlemald was hitting an apex, and in 1557, Alamigo was conquered by the Empire. This was a little too close to home and frightened Sharlayan. Under Garlean rule, they would not only be forced to abandon their culture, but they would also risk the Empire discovering their stored forbidden knowledge and using it for their own gain. True to their pacifist nature, Sharlayan sent an envoy to Garlemald to barter for peace, but to no avail. Due to this, the Forum voted to abandon the colony and flee the hinterlands. This exodus was no small feat, so a 5-year plan was put forth by Fortunato Levier, a noted Forum member. This would allow them to slowly and quietly move people, knowledge, and resources back to Old Sharlayan as to not arouse suspicion. 5 years later, the 14th Legion and Gaius van Baelsar attacked Mordona in the battle at Silvertear Skies. While Garlemald fought Midgottsumr and his brood, the Sharlayans fled the Dravanian hinterlands. In one swift move, thousands of Sharlayans disappeared into the night to flee back to the homeland, leaving new Sharlayan behind and becoming more isolationist than ever, fearing to lose all they had worked for at the hands of the Garlean Empire. Let's examine some of the organizations that make up modern Sharlayan and share their members. Throughout our adventures in Eorzea, we have seen a special tattoo adorning various people. This is the Mark of the Archon. sometimes translated as the Mark of the Sage. A Sharlayan Archon is a scholar of great renown and one of the highest ranks anyone can achieve in Sharlayan society. Only those who have demonstrated exceptional knowledge of their respective subjects can meet this rank. Those who are able to prove their worth and go through a rigorous thesis system can earn the Mark of the Archon. This is similar to a real-world doctorate, but much rarer. Anyone with this permanent distinguishing mark will be given respect within Sharlayan and have access to forbidden tomes and research not publicly available. Some familiar Archons are the members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Before the Scions of the Seventh Dawn became what we know them as today, they were known as the Circle of Knowing. Founded by Louisoix Levier when Sharlayan abandoned Eorzea for good, the Circle of Knowing came together to protect Eorzea from the Garlean Empire and the Primal Threat. Louisoix and his students felt that Sharlayan was too powerful to abandon their allies, and that it was selfish to merely watch events unfold while they could easily have the power to prevent them. Despite criticism from his son, Fortunato Levier, and Sharlayan at large, he set out to Eorzea with a team of his closest students, all Archons. Notable members include Y'shtola, Ida, Papalimo, Thancred, Urianger, Moonbreda, and Rambaros. The Circle of Knowing would eventually become the Scions of the Seventh Dawn upon entering the Seventh Umbral Era, and would later include notable members Alphino Levier, Alize Levier, Tataru, Kryl, and many more. Founded in the year 432, the Stadium is one of the most prestigious institutions of learning in Sharlayan. The Stadium teaches a wide variety of subjects and has produced many Archons in its history. This academy is famed for blending traditionally distinct fields to produce revolutionary new disciplines. People may attend after age 16, the age of adulthood in Sharlayan, but there are some notable figures that were granted early admittance due to merit, including Alphino and Alize Levier, and Mikoto Jinba. Many prestigious and well-known Sharlayans can claim the Stadium as their alma mater. The students of Baldesion are another noble institution. Founded by the famous philanthropist Galf Baldesion, this school takes a more targeted look at the etheric study and primal specifically. He founded this school on the infamous Isle of Val, a dangerous, uninhabited island to the east of Sharlayan. With the official support of the Forum, the students of Baldesion could delve into their specified fields of research. Some notable graduates are Kryl Baldesion, Grahatia, and Ijika Tunjika. Sharlayan has many groups and guilds that are formed to focus on specific research and scientific exploration. The Sons of St. Coinach is a group dedicating to researching the relics of ancient Elag. The group is named for St. Coinach, an Eorzean scholar who proved the existence of the Allagan Empire, previously thought to be a myth. The group's goal was to better understand Allagan history, culture, and science. Notable members are Ko Rabanta, Rambaros, and Ymitra. When Allagan ruins in Mordona were unearthed by the Seventh Umbral Calamity, the Sons of St. Coinach teamed up with Garland Ironworks, the students of Baldesion, and the Eorzean Adventurers Guild to investigate. Deemed the nominated observers of artifacts historical, or N.O.A.H, they hoped to lay claim to the Allagan ruins so the Empire would not have access to the immense, mysterious weapons and power hidden within. True to the Sharlayan creed, this organization took a neutral stance and vowed to observe and protect these relics and to never use them for war or monopolize them for any individual organizations or nations. This group would head the search and exploration of the Crystal Tower. One would be remiss to speak of Sharlayan feats without discussing their unique magical teachings. Native Ishgardian Jean-Claude Duander studied astromancy in the Dravanian hinterlands before the mass exodus. He petitioned an envoy from Sharlayan years later in order to complete his studies and expand this art to others and possibly help with the Dragon Song War. However, when Leviva Beard came to share her knowledge, the Forum itself sent an envoy to retrieve her and dissuade her from sharing Sharlayan secrets. Another class from Sharlayan is one that we don't have much information on, the Sage. This altruistic art draws upon the wisdom of aetherology, sorcery, and medicine. Dubbed Somnatics, this class seeks to heal and protect by manipulating corporeal aether through the use of a flying array of foci. Practitioners are dedicated to the betterment of mankind and for their wisdom and compassion, eventually came to be known simply as sages. We hope to learn more of this art when we finally traverse into Sharlayan. Sharlayan has been shrouded in mystery since they withdrew from the Eorzean Alliance years ago. Therefore, we've only been fed bits and pieces of their history throughout our adventures. I hope this essay helps you to better understand Sharlayan history as we finally reach their shores. What are you hoping to discover in the Endwalker expansion? Are there any last-minute goals you hope to achieve before the expansion releases in December? Let me know if there's any other lore videos you'd be curious to listen to. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe check out some of my other social media pages. Thanks again for listening. Good luck next expansion.